Amigues, you won't believe what Pedro Pascal just said about Trump. Now that I have your attention, amigues, did you know that in the 1930s during the Great Depression, the US government deported over 1 million Mexicans? And it is said that over 60% of them were US citizens. This was called the Mexican repatriation, and it is a dark chapter in our history that we don't talk about enough. All of this happened under Republican President Herbert Hoover, who promoted these mass deportations as a way to reduce unemployment. Authorities blame Mexicans for taking jobs and use this as an excuse to round up Mexicans at work, on the streets, even at people's homes. A lot of families were separated and sent across the border without due process, even if they had never lived in Mexico. And a lot of these people, again, had been in the US for generations. And one story that made me sick, amigues, was that of Pedro J. Gonzalez, who was a Mexican-American radio host and one of the few people to speak out against the Mexican repatriation. He used his platform to warn Mexican and Mexican-Americans about what was happening. And of course, the authorities weren't happy with it, right? Because they wanted to gather as many Mexicans as they could. So in retaliation, they falsely accused him of rape and sentenced him to 50 years in prison. And after 6 years of being in prison, one of his accusers came out and said that she had been pressured to testify against him by the Los Angeles Police Department. It's just wild, but it gets worse. As part of a deal, Pedro was released on the condition that he leave the US and be deported to Mexico. Having been a Mexican American, they sent him to Mexico in 1940. It is just sick. And amigos, these aren't numbers. These are people. These are families simply separated because of the color of their skin. When people talk about mass deportations today, let's not forget that they've happened before. And it is important for us as Mexican Americans, as first gen, as whatever, to understand our past so that we can better recognize when the same patterns try to repeat themselves again.